on you. Coming to the part 2 of ketone bodies. Yesterday we have discussed that ketone bodies are of 3 types. So ketone bodies, acetone, acetoacetate, and beta hydroxybutyrate. Because of the reason that this beta hydroxybutyrate do not possess a keto group, do not possess a keto group, and these both possess a keto group, so this is called a true ketone bodies. These both are called true ketone bodies. Yesterday this was thought mistakenly. I mentioned these two to be ketone bodies, true ketone bodies, but this was wrong. This is not correct. This one and this one together, they are not called true ketone bodies, but in fact this acetone molecule and this molecule of acetoacetate, these two molecules are called true ketone bodies. Please make this correction. Now coming to the reason why we are discussing these ketone bodies. Ketone bodies are water soluble molecules. These are water soluble molecules which are source of energy. These are source of energy when two states, number 1, number 2, either it is starvation or it is diabetes mellitus. Either it is starvation, either it is diabetes mellitus. Now let me discuss this a bit in detail. What happens in diabetes mellitus? Diabetes mellitus and starvation. In both these conditions, in diabetes mellitus and in starvation, in both these conditions, the glucose amount is low. The glucose amount is low. We know that in starvation the glucose is less. But in diabetes mellitus, regardless of the reason that diabetes mellitus, the glucose amount is very high, but this glucose molecule is not available for the body to give energy. In diabetes mellitus, glucose amount is very high, but this glucose molecule, which is high in diabetes mellitus, it cannot give energy. So in both these conditions, the glucose amount is less to give energy. Number 1. Number 2. So if the energy is less, where this energy is coming from? Lipid breakdown. Lipid breakdown will give you energy, that is called lipolysis. Lipolysis will give you energy in conditions that is starvation and in diabetes mellitus. So glucose is less, and this energy is provided by lipid molecule, by the breakdown of lipid molecule, that is lipolysis, will give you energy in diabetes mellitus as well as starvation. Number 3, there will be less amount of insulin hormone. There will be less amount of insulin hormone. Number 4, there will be more amount of glucagon. There will be more amount of glucagon, less insulin as it is in diabetes mellitus and as it is in starvation. More amount of glucagon, so more amount of glucagon is in starvation as well as diabetes mellitus. Number 5, when there is increased amount of glucagon, it will favor gluconeogenesis. It will favor gluconeogenesis. So new amount of glucose will be synthesized. The body sense The body senses that there is less amount of glucose. In both these conditions, the body senses that the amount of sugar is less, the amount of glucose is less. So what body do? The body form glucose molecule, and this formation of glucose molecule is called gluconeogenesis. So all of these conditions are very important. Less amount of glucose to give you energy. So where the energy is coming from? The energy is coming from lipid molecule breakdown. The insulin hormone will be less, glucagon hormone will be more, and there will be increased amount of gluconeogenesis. So by now, if this glucagon, we know that glucagon will favor ketogenesis. This will favor ketogenesis formation. This glucagon will favor the formation of ketone bodies. This insulin hormone will inhibit ketogenesis. So glucagon is ketogenic hormone and insulin is non-ketogenic hormone. Glucagon is favoring the formation of ketone bodies and insulin is inhibiting the formation of ketone bodies. Number last step, acetyl-CoA will be formed in all of these conditions. Acetyl-CoA will be formed in all of these conditions, and this will not go to TCA cycle. In fact, this acetyl-CoA will go and form ketone bodies. So these 6 steps are similar in diabetes mellitus and starvation. The amount of glucose is less, the amount of lipid breakdown is more, insulin hormone is less, glucagon is more, gluconeogenesis will be more, and acetyl-CoA will not go to TCA cycle, but in fact this acetyl-CoA will go to utilize in the formation of ketone body. So all of these are conditions which are present in diabetes mellitus and starvation. There is another condition that is called hyperemesis gravidarum. Hyperemesis gravidarum is the condition when there is increased amount of vomiting as seen in the early stages in the first trimester of pregnancy. Hyperemesis gravidarum is the vomiting which is present in the first trimester of pregnancy. This also helps in all of these states and will help you in formation of ketone bodies. The normal ketone body synthesis is less than 1 milligram per deciliter. The normal ketone body present in the body is less than 1 milligram per deciliter. If it more than that, it will lead to ketonemia, ketonuria, and ketosis. We discussed this earlier. How the patient is presenting? Patient signs and symptoms.